The Rover is here. Is it fun? Hello everyone, this is Richard. Welcome to Starfield Essentials! As many of us predicted, Bethesda shadow dropped the long-awaited land vehicle, or Rover, today during the beginning of the Gamescom video game show. I've been playing it for an hour this evening, and here are my thoughts. To get the Rover, go to any ship technician and buy it for 25,000 credits. After that one-time fee, your only customization option is changing the color. For now, the Rover, called the Rev 8, can accommodate your player and one NPC. It's equipped with a laser weapon, which is not too shabby. I expect more variations and customizations in the future, from both Bethesda and creators. The Rover is basically indestructible, but it can get stuck. I'll show that in a moment. The mechanics are pretty straightforward, but I found myself driving almost exclusively in third person. This is different from how I usually play with my character. In first person, I just can't see where I'm going or how to get there. I found myself referring to locations on the HUD more often, and sometimes I set destination points to facilitate navigation. What is combat like in the Rover? I'm sure everyone wants to know if you can mow down enemies while driving. The answer is yes, although there are a few considerations. Bethesda has given players some leeway when driving. It takes 2 or more strikes with the Rover before a neutral NPC considers you to be hostile. If you're in a populated area, however, NPCs will usually run away in terror while you drive nearby. They do this even if you have not hit anyone. It is possible to use the Rover as a weapon against adversaries, but it doesn't seem to do much damage. In an encounter with spacers at a landing site, I had to repeatedly strike the enemy NPCs to have any real effect. If you cause any NPCs to become hostile as a result of striking them, the effect is the same as if you had shot them or punched them. Practice safe driving. What about fast travel? It seems that if you are driving anywhere, you cannot use fast travel unless it is back to your ship. For example, let's say you drive the Rover to a POI. You then drive to a second POI. If you are on foot, you could fast travel back to the first POI. This is not the case if you are driving. Once you're in the Rover, you're going everywhere by wheels. The easiest workaround would be to fast travel back to your ship, exit, and then fast travel to the desired destination. Leave the Rover behind. Thankfully, the Rover is super tough. It does not seem to take damage. You can get stuck though. At one point, I drove the Rover into a gap between terrain and a building. The vehicle ended up on its side. I could not move it, even using the built-in booster. I had to fast travel back to my ship. The Rover was magically waiting for me. I guess Sarah called for Constellation roadside assistance. Andreja says not being able to change your own tires would be considered a sign of weakness. Speaking of companions, only one can drive with you at a time. That means you could end up at a POI pretty quickly, assuming you don't get stuck en route. Your other companions may take a while to catch up. This is mainly a problem for those of us who play with multi-companion mods like the excellent The Gang's All Here. Let's talk for a minute about other aspects of the game introduced by this new code. Starfield has incremented its version from 1.12.36 to 1.13.61. If you're on PC, remember that any mods using the Starfield script extender and address library will not work until both are updated. The devs behind those mods are amazing, so I believe we will see updates soon. However, even mods that do not use SFSC or the address library may be incompatible. I did not have problems with the few mods that I use on my Xbox for PC side. I will wait several days or even a week to update Starfield on my Steam for PC side. For those of us who own Xbox Series S consoles, there are some special updates waiting. Do you remember when the Xbox Series X received display settings for different FPS targets and also performance versus visuals options? Well, they are now on Xbox Series S as well. I tried several permutations of settings on my Xbox Series S, and my attempt to squeeze more than 30 FPS out of the system did not go well. I ended up using 30 FPS with visuals selected. I recorded the session in this video on my PC, which has an NVIDIA 4070 Ti Super GPU. Today's update introduced a feature I had been waiting for with respect to DLSS. Previously, you could not natively enable DLSS and also frame generation at the same time. That's one reason I was using the AMD FSR3 technology, even though I have an NVIDIA GPU. FSR3 did allow frame generation to be active. Well, with today's update, I am running DLSS, DLAA, and frame generation. By the way, DLSS is deep learning supersampling, an upscaling technology that helps me get to 4K. DLAA is deep learning anti-aliasing, which reduces jagged edges. And frame generation creates so-called fake frames to increase FPS. I ran CapFrameX in the upper left-hand side of the screen of this video to show graphics performance during part of the video. I'll probably run a new set of benchmarks now that my original video on the subject is several months old. Beyond these graphics considerations, the update introduced some graphics and game bug fixes. None of them really caught my attention, but check the patch notes for details. Finally, we received word at the end of the Bethesda Rover reveal video that the first major Starfield DLC, Shattered Space, arrives on September 30th. This is a few weeks later than I had predicted, but still within the month of September, although just barely. Starfield will be 1 year old in a few weeks, so I'm thrilled to see this DLC arriving a few weeks after that. In summary, I think the Rover is super fun. My family heard me laughing out loud as I was driving it. I am not sure I will use it regularly though. I tend to play a modded game that includes a fast travel to unknown mod. I use it to teleport to POIs regardless of whether I have visited them previously. When I use it, my whole party arrives with me. Since I usually travel with 4 or 5 NPCs, this is really convenient. My original Xbox character and saves are completely vanilla, though. The Rover is a great way to speed up travel for that character. I will likely play Shattered Space with my original vanilla character, so I expect to get more time in the Rover with him and Marika, Sarah, or Andreja. What do you think of the Rover? Are you excited by the future of Starfield? Please let me know in a comment below. If you made it to this part of the video, please leave a comment saying, "We don't need roads." Also, remember to ring the bell icon and select all notifications if you think Andreja should go to driver's education class. My name is Richard. I will see you in the Starfield.